It's been decades since Kathryn Bigelow has directed a horror film with her great underrated banger Near Dark, but my goodness, this filmmaker knows how to scare us still. This might be one of the most terrifying movies I've seen all year. Hello, Flickering Myth family, and welcome to our channel. My name is EJ Marino, and I am so excited to dive into this week's new movie review. Yes, Netflix has a political thriller just around the corner, and we are going to be talking about it from our great filmmaker of our time, Kathryn Bigelow. Yes, we are going to be diving into A House of Dynamite. You know, when I left the screening of A House of Dynamite, I told the Netflix PR people, can you please invite me to a relaxing movie? Because my butt was clenched this whole time. My goodness, A House of Dynamite is one of the most intense movies of the year. It's terrifying, it's chilling, it's real. There's a line that stood out to me that has lived with me since I've seen it. This is not insanity, it's reality. And that's what this movie captures so well. A very real time of what happens when a nuclear weapon is heading straight to us. This is not about the war. This is not about the aftermath of the nuke. It is about that specific around 18 minutes from when the nuke was discovered to when it hits a important town in our country. It is wild. It's interesting because on the bare bones of this, you're like, oh, well, it's not about anything. It's not really about a specific war or anything like that. But I think what this movie captures perfectly is the utter insanity, to go back to that phrase, of what happens in this moment of there is about to be a mass casualty incident happening. How do we prepare for it? What do we do to prepare? Who is the one who is supposed to warn us about it? Like the layers of the chain of command that we have to go through just to get this issue resolved, and how just a small thing like a phone call not going through can completely change the trajectory of everything. This movie is so interesting. It's not usually my type of genre, usually political thriller, especially a more mature kind of film. I mean, I'm a goofy horror kid. So for me to sit down and enjoy this movie as much as I did, I was surprised by that. But then, you know what? Thinking about it, it's terrifying. And all I want to do is be scared. That's why horror is my favorite genre. So when Kathryn Bigelow comes out with a political thriller like this, you have to kind of sit down and go, well, what you doing over here, girl? Because my goodness, she just understood the assignment. She educated us a bit. You know, I learned a bit about the chain of command. I learned how much the president, no matter what president is, this isn't specific to a political party or the president now or anything like that, but how ill prepared the president is for a situation like this, and how prepared other people are. I mean, there's what I learned in the Q&A after this movie is like, there's people who run tests for this 400 times a year just to get ready, where the president barely has time to go through the file of all of the nuclear plans. Like, it is mind-blowing how wild this world could be and how real it is, because Kathryn Bigelow loves reality. She loves drenching her film in a sense of realism, and that's what this is. I mean, if you look at Zero Dark 30, if you look at The Hurt Locker, she's a filmmaker in, what was it, K9, The Widowmaker. She's a filmmaker who knows exactly what to do to capture a very real situation and make it perfect for a cinematic experience, and that's what this is. What really impressed me here was this all-star cast. My goodness, Idris Elba in a underutilized way. Rebecca Ferguson, not enough of her. I love Rebecca Ferguson. I needed more of her and everything. Then you have people like Anthony Ramos, Tracy Letts, Jason Clarke. Like, there is so many actors here doing their damn thing, and it's just impressive. I've seen Kathryn Bigelow work with big casts before, but this might be her largest ensemble to date, and it works so well as an ensemble piece. It also helps that the editing, writing, and directing of this kind of segmented this, you know, gave you different chapters of the story and how it unfolds for different perspectives of different people who work in the government. It kept it fresh, and it was able to allow every actor that moment to shine, because every actor gets something. I mean, there's a moment Jason Clarke just gets to act without really even saying much, and you're like, oh, and then Idris Elba just kind of coming in at the end of this to just swoop and pull everything together. It's interesting. It's wild to see a filmmaker who I trust, Kathryn Bigelow, but to never, you know, to just go, ooh, this is a lot of cast. This is a lot of people. There's a lot of things happening here. Can you handle this? And she does effortlessly. I think everyone has a equal shot to shine here. Now, when you go into the awards potential of who to nominate, that's where this movie gets a little bit messy for me. I would nominate this film in like sound design, even directing. I think Kathryn Bigelow is a hell of a director, and she directs this within an inch of her life. But then you go to the acting, and I can't specify, like, like specify who is the lead, who is the supporting of this film. That's where it makes this a bit complicated. So I think as an overall piece, it's an impactful thing. But then looking at acting, which is something I love as a film critic and as a film viewer, looking at the acting, it's just harder to point out one specific person who does a great thing. You know who actually I think is really good? I think Greta Lee doesn't have enough to do, but she's so good. And it's Gabriel Basso. He is the underrated gem here. I wouldn't give him an award nomination or anything, but he's the one that I thought was such a surprise for me. Someone who I've seen in work a little bit here and there, but his work in this film specifically makes him a standout. And that's hard to do when you have like Rebecca Ferguson, Idris Elba, Tracy Letts, Moses Ingram. Oh my God, there's just so many great actors here who are doing an amazing job. So to have one actor stand out is good, and he doesn't take away or doesn't, steal, shine or pull focus, but he just works well here. Kathryn Bigelow knows how to make an ensemble work and how to give each little actor a moment to shine enough for you to be like, oh, they're so good. If I had to point out something I didn't like in this movie, looking at like the good, the bad, and the nuclear of this all, I will say I think the pacing of the movie is just a bit off. So if you remember the movie Weapons this year that has a different chapter and we kind of retell the story each time we get into a new chapter, this movie does it as well. A House of Dynamite has now we're in a new section and let's retell the story to kind of catch us up to where we were. I did feel myself kind of having to get acclimated to getting used to what was being done and like, oh, I had already seen this before, but now from this perspective, that was just one of my small critiques. I will also say the score, there's some people who love the score. There's some people who comparing it too much to Conclave. To be honest, I don't remember Conclave enough to remember the score. But anyways, I do think it's a bit overbearing. It's a bit like, okay. And that's, I think noise in this movie is an auditory nightmare. Like there's phones ringing, people yelling, chatter all the time. It's a very overwhelming film. And then you have a very loud, intense score on top of all the, just like the practical noises within the moment. And it's just like, oh, okay. Like when the movie stopped, I was just like, peace and quiet. Like now I'm thinking about a nuke going off, but peace and quiet. So that's like some of the few things I would complain about the movie. Overall, again, it is a great film. There's just these small little tweaks that I think keeps it from being like a perfect score, a 10 out of 10 movie. And again, I will have to say I'm not a big procedural fan, and I think Kathryn Bigelow makes a procedural kind of film feel different and more unique and more refreshing, but it definitely does feel like, and now let's learn how people do their job. If you watch a medical show, if you watch a cop show, it all kind of fits into that. Even shows like The West Wing, it shows that really give you the nitty gritty of how things unfold within a government, within a police force or anything like that. You kind of go through the steps, you kind of go through all the policies and procedures. We do that a bit here. It's maybe not the most thrilling, maybe not one of my favorite kind of things, but then I do feel myself, to counterpoint my own point there, I do find myself educated a bit. Like I learned a lot from this movie, which is good. You know what I mean? You walk into a movie just wanting to be entertained, but I walked away learning a bit more of our government, learning a bit more of how this unfolds, and I think that's really interesting. So as much as I do find it just a bit dull because of the procedure nature, or a bit overwhelming because of the sound, or the pacing is just a bit off, all of those little things don't really take away from actually how good I do find this movie. Well, everyone, that is it for my review of A House of Dynamite, Kathryn Bigelow's newest film, and my goodness, for a director who is in her 70s, she is directing better than some of the kids out here. She feels fresher than ever. She feels more confident as a filmmaker. I love Kathryn Bigelow. I've been a big fan since Point Break, really, and then Finding Near Dark, and then seeing her other movies later on. Even if, again, war movies aren't my thing, she always has a unique perspective that makes it worthwhile. See this for Kathryn Bigelow alone, and then get into it because Idris Elba, Rebecca Ferguson, all these great actors are in it as well. But yeah, I recommend A House of Dynamite. See it in theaters as well. The auditory, as much as it hits you in the face, it's a very consuming movie. I liked seeing this in a theater with good sound. It made it an overall intense experience that after it was done, I was like, and I don't really get that feeling too often, that I feel that tense during a movie. All right, guys, what did you think of my review? What do you think of A House of Dynamite? If you've seen it early, what did you think? Share your thoughts down in the comments below. Subscribe to Flickering Myth for more videos like this, and make sure you guys give me a thumbs up for any more fun details. Look, if you like it, I'll make more of this stuff. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and let's talk about A House of Dynamite right down below.